Hello everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to our new subscribers and our long-term subscribers. Lovely to have you with us. Now just a little explanation here before I get started with today's project. My last video, for those who were able to join me, was the unboxing of our Papercraft Society box number 40. And I did mention that I had a few ideas for projects. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that, and it's the reason I haven't been on YouTube for a week or so. The ink, I didn't realise that they had ink in them, neither did I realise that the inks were such a strong smell it actually gave me a problem with my asthma, which I haven't had for about 15 years. And talking and breathing was a bit difficult for about 3 or 4 days afterwards. So I'm alright now, back to normal, whatever that means. So fully recovered. So we're going to do a completely different project today. So it's nothing to do with Papercraft Society. The next one will be coming in a couple of weeks or so, and that one looks pretty safe to me. So, in fact, it looks extremely pretty, so I'm looking forward to that coming. So, until that happens, I've got a couple of projects of my own, which aren't from any particular kit, just from my own head. So, we're going to make a 5x7 card. Now, I do have to warn you on this one, or tell you, not really warn you, there are a lot of measurements, but I am going to add all of the measurements in order, or in the groups, and that'll make much more sense when you see the card coming together in the description below. But it's not complicated, and you'll see what I mean. As we go through this video, you'll see what I mean. It's quite straightforward, but there are quite a few measurements. So I think we're going to get going. So we've got a 5x7 card, and I'm going to use a white coloured card for this. You won't see much of the white by the time we're done, apart from a little border around the outside, because we're going to call this a layered panel card, I think. That's probably what I'll call it. So we're going to pop that to one side, and straight away I'm going to bring in the first 2 layers. Now, just to make this a little bit quicker for you, the borders and the pattern paper, the card and the pattern paper, I've already glued together on all of them, just to make the video go a little bit quicker. And for each section, every time I've glued paper to the red card, I've used a glue stick. So the first one measures 4.5 by 6.5. And this one, the first pattern paper, measures 4 by 6. So these will be down in the description below. And for this, I'm going to use my red runner tape. I was going to use glue, but the glue bottle I picked up is virtually empty. And I've got my camera all set up, and I didn't want to have to move it. So we're going to use tape. So I was going to use tacky glue, which you can use, and I would do normally, but as I say, it's my empty bottle is sitting on my desk, and the other one is in my store cupboard, which is in another room. So we're just going to lay that down like that, and already we've got something that looks like a layer. Now, if you're interested in this paper, I'm not sure if it's still available. I will check it out. It's actually wrapping paper, and I'm almost sure it came from W.H. Smith. In fact, I am sure it came from W.H. Smith, which is here in the UK. But I'll check it out, and if they've still got some in store or on the website, I will add a link for you. So that is the paper, and the red, this is just ordinary red cardstock, which you can get from just about anywhere. And so we're going to carry on now, and our next piece is a piece of, we need a strip, and I've all my, this is it 6 by, no it's not, yes, this is 6 by 2, I think it's 6 by 2, let me just double check that, because I didn't put my measurements in order. 6 by 2. Yes, I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep my ruler handy just in case I need that again. So this is 6 by 2, this red strip, and this one is 5.5 by 1.5. And on the back I have some foam tape, which I'm going to take off. And what we're going to do, as we've got our glue stick handy, what we're going to do, I'm sure if you've watched my videos before, you will have seen me do this before. I'm going to add some glue stick. Only if you're going to use this technique, only use glue stick. Don't try and use tacky glue because you'll make a hell of a mess and it won't work. So we're just going to put some glue on there. All this does is give it a bit of a greasy sheen, for want of a better word. It doesn't add to or take away from the stickiness, but what it does do, it stops it from sticking, it stops it from grabbing instantly. And we're just going to put that within that border there, so that we've still got that lovely little red border around the edge. So that's our first panel down, or our first 2 panels down if you like, or the first 2 narrow panels. And then what we've got 3 little panels here that measure 1.5 by 1.5. The red one measures 1.5 by 1.5, and the pattern paper measures 1 by 1. And I have got 3 of those. And on the back, I have got foam tape. No, I haven't, I beg your pardon. I've got foam pads, not foam tape, foam pads, which are a little bit less dimensional. They're a bit thinner. So I'm going to take them off. I'm not going to put glue on them this time. Hang on. Oh, that was almost today's deliberate mistake because I forgot the strip. We have a strip that measures, if I can find it, 1/2 inch by 6 inches. No, it doesn't. It measures 1/2 inch by, let me have a look. That's 1/2 inch wide, but I can't remember what the measurement was. I think it might be 6. It is, yes, 1/2 inch by 6. And again, we're going to use our red runner tape on that. I knew it was going to be one of those days when I got up this morning. So we're just going to run some tape down there. And the good thing about that is you can use your finger to pick it up. And we're going to stick that, or lay that, down through the centre, like that. So the reason we've done that is we've got something for our panels to sit on. So it breaks up that blue. So just to recap, that's 1.5 squared and that one's 1 squared, or 1 inch squared. But it will be in the description box, so you don't have to worry about it. So I want to keep a little bit of the strip showing at the top. So I'm going to put that one on there. And likewise, I want to keep a little bit of the strip showing at the bottom. So we're just going to take off the backing tape. And I'm going to put that down there just so that will come in a bit like that. So there's a little bit of the blue and a little bit of the red showing. And this middle one, obviously, goes in the middle. Difficult, isn't it? So, very straightforward, really. So that little one is going to go in the middle, preferably straight. So as long as you don't press it down too hard, you should get away with it. That's the only problem. You could rip the paper, but hopefully it won't show. So we're just going to lay that down a bit straighter. That's all right. I think we'll get away with that, more or less. So there we go. And we've just got 3 flowers. I've got 3 flowers here, which I actually made with a paper punch. This was a 1 inch scalloped paper punch, which I did, I think, about 3 times. 3 times, yes. Then I just cut into it to make little fringes. Sorry about that, guys, I went off camera there. So to recap, I used a 1 inch fluted paper punch, and I cut 3 times, and then I just cut into it to make little fringes, and then glued them together, and then punched a centre. So, and again, these are on little bits of foam pad. So we're just going to take the backing off, and I'm going to pop one there. I've got 2 with the lilac centres and 1 with the yellow centre. So the ones with the lilac centres are going to go on the top and the bottom. And the one with the yellow centre, I'm going to pop in the middle. So there we go. So that's coming together really well. In fact, you could leave it like that if you want to. You could call that finished. But, oh, beg your pardon. I should watch what I'm doing with my feet. I kicked the stand. I do apologise. So I'll keep my feet under the desk where they should be. So I'm just going to put a couple more embellishments on. You don't have to. You can leave it like that if you wish. I'm not going to put a sentiment on this yet, because I'm not quite sure for what occasion it's going to be for, or even who it's going to go to. Now, usually at this stage, you'd put maybe some bling there and some bling there. Now, I'm not going to use bling. I am going to put a couple of little bits there, and 3 each, I think. But they're not going to be bling, just because it's me. We don't do things like everybody else does on this channel. We like to be a bit different. So I have found in my stash some gorgeous little self-adhesive ladybirds, or ladybugs, whatever you like to call them. So they are self-adhesive. These came from the works. Again, I will check to see if they're still in stock. If they have, I'll add a link to them. And I think I'm not going to put them all in line. We don't want them like soldiers. Not that there's anything wrong with soldiers, they're absolutely fine. Wonderful people, they do a great job. But we want these a bit random. Whoops. So they'll be in a straight line-ish, but they won't all be facing the same way. So we'll we'll do it. That's what I meant by that. They'll be, whoops, they are so fiddly and so small, but they are good fun. So I'm going to put 3 at the bottom like that, and then I'm going to put 3 at the top, like at that end. So just take off the backing, and I'm going to do it in the same orientation. So I'm going to put one that way so that they're facing slightly different ways. They're not all facing the same way. Otherwise they look, if I put them all facing the same way, it reminds me of when we were at primary school. We would have to line up before at the end of dinner time to go back into class. We don't want that. We want it to be a bit random. I don't know if anybody else had to do that. The infant school or primary school or whatever you called it. I think some at country school at kindergarten. But there we go. Anyway, whatever you called it, that's what it reminds me of. So which is why I've not done it. But I quite like that sort of quirky, random orientation like that. So there we go, guys. There is our layered panel card. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a go yourself. And do let me know how it goes. It's quite easy. I have to warn you, the cutting and measuring takes forever. So it seems to take forever. But putting it together, we've put it together in, what, just over 10 minutes. That's not bad, is it? So there we go. There is our layered panel card. And I will see you very soon with another idea. And until then, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Thank you for those who subscribed, whether you're long-term subscribers or new subscribers. Lovely to have you on board. And I'll see you soon with a new video. And until then, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Do take care. Have fun. Lots of fun. And as always, happy crafting. Bye-bye for now.